that from our hearts, God, we will honor you. That our yes, Lord, is not just the fruit of our lips, but it's a product of the fruit of our heart. That you might be glorified and glorified in us. God, we bless you. We praise for what you will teach us on tonight. Open up our understanding. Give us eyes to see and ears to hear. May our hearts be tender toward you, O God, that we might receive of you that which is life-changing, life-transforming, life-renewing, that will bring healing and wholeness and deliverance, oh God, in the name of Jesus, that will encourage our hearts, despite what it looks like, Father God, that will give us a press in our spirit to push and to fight, that you allow us to stop us from being who you say we are, in the name of Jesus, that we will not be stuck, we will not be stagnant, and God will only stand still waiting on you, not being lazy, apathetic, or running behind, Father God, but walking with you in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. God, we thank you for your grace and your mercy. Your grace abounding, unfailing mercy prevail in the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, God. In the name of Jesus. We thank you for a don't quit spirit. We thank you for don't quit spirit. I'm not going to quit. Okay, where I'm at, okay, what's going on? I don't care my stomach. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to press, and I'm going to press, and I'm going to press. If God promised to be with me, I'm going to be with him. God, we thank you. We thank you for new resolve and determination. We repent, Father God, for any way that's displeasing to you. In thinking, in word, and in deed. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Forgive us for always we offended you. And Father, we release anyone who's offended us. We refuse to carry offense. Here's our heart, God. We refuse. We throw offense on the altar. In the name of Jesus. Jesus. Yeah. In the name of Jesus. We need our hearts to be free. A clogged heart stops our movement, stops our progress, stops our development, stops our growth, stops the flow of your blessing in our life. Your love being able to flow in us and through us. God. We don't need that. We throw offense on the altar. Yeah. You got any offense? You got any offense of any kind? If you have any offense of any kind, I want you to say this on your chest. If you have any offense of any kind, you just don't now time to play. If you have any offense of any kind, right, just like this. Grab it just like you grab it and throw it in front of you on the altar. Now we on the altar. We need your forgiveness. We dare not hold up our forgiveness because we won't forgive. Offense is a bait of Satan. It will ensnare you. And you'll die before your time. It'll kill you. And it will hurt every relationship you have. And the sad thing, it'll be towards the people that ain't done nothing to you. It's not worth it. I feel this thing. It ain't worth it. You gonna stumble, I'm gonna stumble, you gonna say something, I'm gonna say something, you gonna do something, I'm gonna do something. We all need forgiveness and we all need God's grace and mercy. God, we thank you for the grace to forgive. We're going back to childhood, God. We thank you for the grace to forgive. God. The pattern of forgiveness that we picked up and that we've learned by growing up where we've grown up, God, that pattern be broken. That yoke be destroyed. That yoke be destroyed in the name of Jesus. And that pattern broken. In the name of Jesus. God, we thank you. And we appreciate you. For full victory. Full victory, God. Full victory. We don't want no partial. We don't want it in this area of our life or that area of our life, God. We thank you for full victory. Full victory. We're bound in no area. We're tight in no area. We're loose in every area. God, yes, God, yes, God. We're loose, we're loose. Y'all need to shout, I'm loose. Come on, with me. I'm loose. Good, God. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Father, we thank you. We bless you for this full victory.
Yes, Lord.
That we see it in our time and in our life. And that the grace you pour on us is not and will not be in vain. Yeah. In the name of Jesus. That's it. That's the prayer. That's the prayer. That's the prayer. You guys got to be obedient. You got to be obedient. If you agree with the will of God, you're agreeing with God. God's will's got to happen in your life. I don't care how you feel right now. I said, shout, I'm loose. We're going to get that tonight. You got to agree with God. You can't agree with the circumstance. You can't agree with how you feel. You can't agree with what you're thinking. You got to agree with God. I'm loose. Declare I live in all the kind of way, but loose. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Yes, God. Yes, God. Yes, God.
Yes, Lord.
Oh, yes, Lord.
We agree with you. We honor you.
Yes, Lord.
And we praise you.
Yes, Lord.
In the mighty master's name of Jesus Christ, we pray. That's it. That's it, God. Go from broke.
Hold me, God.
Bless you in advance for all things. In Jesus' name we pray. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Amen. 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 Come on, that's it. That's it. Right there. That's it. That's it. That's right on point. That's right on point. Right there. That's right on point. Seats in the presence of the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. That's what, last week I left it off in a place. told you guys that I was going to hold it to this week on purpose. And I'm going to give it to you today. I'm going to show you this in the text when we look at Abraham's life and his self-talk. What I don't want us to get twisted is the correlation between Abraham's talk and his walk, his destination and his heart. We're on this course because a lot of our emotional, a lot of our being in life is related to our talk, which comes out of our heart. It also corresponds with our walk, and then finally where we do that. Do you understand that? And so we're looking at Abraham's life. It's so imperative that we learn this lesson and that we get this. It's a must that we learn this and that we get this. This is going to be critical to us breaking through pressure is and not think that there's a cracking or breaking.
Ooh, Jesus.
You're getting discouraged by the intensity of the pressure.
Come on.
You understand that? And once, if you're meeting the pressure with resistance, you're causing a crack. Did y'all hear what she just said? Friction. You can't have the pressure and be smooth with it. Come on, y'all, don't go to sleep on me tonight. I'm not gonna go out screaming at night and running around. But if y'all just catch what God is saying, just hear it. It's beyond me. You can't have that amount of pressure and try to go with the flow of it. You got to resist. You got to fight against it. Are you understand what I'm telling you? You got to continue to push against it. Pushing against it allows you to become stronger and then force you in momentum to cause you to break through. The toughest time in pregnancy is before delivery. Why? Duh, the baby's on the way. She did more screaming at that moment than she did the whole pregnancy. I had 3, so I know what I'm talking about. And I was there for all 3 of them. I didn't miss one. I didn't pause any, she was screaming too much. That joke decided he was coming out. He walked right out. Hello! Hi! That's where he was born at. 123 Livingston Avenue, apartment E6, on my bed. She broke water at 254, at 317, he was out. She picked her head up 3 times. Crown, paramedic, bloop, foil, take him to the hospital. They wrapped him in foil to keep his body temperature. He was born at home. So they wrapped, paramedics know what they're doing? They wrapped him up in foil to keep his body temperature right. Now I gotta go out into the element. Their body's not like our bodies. And even though this was March, it was in March at that. Anyway, the point was, I got caught up in my wife's pregnancy. Lord. I explained the whole pregnancy now. They're going, stay focused. The point is that that's the opportune time. That's the time of most pressure. And sometimes that moment, your ugly comes out. Whatever your ugly is, whatever it is, your ugly may not be my ugly. I don't want to leave this in this place because ugly doesn't necessarily mean, in all cases, something contrary to God. Do you understand that? But if there's anything contrary to God, it's coming out. Do you understand that? Years ago, I was at my aunt's house in Las Vegas, and this is when I was transitioning, and I was really learning, I came in before I got to Vegas, into the fact that I really need to make a sincere change. Some of y'all know my testimony. I was facing prison time. And in that moment, I had to make a decision. Thanks be to God, I never saw the judge. I saw my lawyer twice. That was it. But in that moment, I was in this transition period. And so one night I was asleep. I woke up in the morning, it was early in the morning, and I never heard these scriptures. The Lord gave me clear as day, Malachi 3:3. So I went to Malachi 3:3, one of the scriptures we're going to get into tonight. He talks about the refiner's fire. He was going to refine the house of Levi. He told me this 20-some years ago. So what he's saying, he says, I'm going to refine you. He was already telling me what my line was and what I was a part of. And he said, I'm going to refine that. And I feel as though you talk about fuller soap, the cleansing and all. It's going to make sense when I come to the message today. I got to follow him telling they got to walk with me. Jeremiah got to walk with me. I understand. So he said, the refiner's fire, I'm jumping. And then he took me over to Luke. And got me to the place of Luke 6. So the first one is Luke. Now here's what you got to understand. If this is what he's doing, and you're connected to the one he's doing it through, this is what he's doing in your life. Amen. Oh, come on, y'all. Amen. So what that does is like Mother Lady Marva said, we're going somewhere. And so that gives us a hope and a confidence. I don't care what it looks like now. We're going somewhere. Breakthrough is inevitable for the connection. All you gotta do is stay connected. And this connection is not a flesh connection, it's by faith. Are y'all getting this? And so he took me over to Luke after that, and talks about in Luke chapter 6, and we're going to get into it tonight. It's apropos. He talked about building your house on the rock versus building on the sand. He said those that build upon the rock, when the winds came and beat vehemently. You know what caught me today? I got to share. You know what caught me today? It's not that the house didn't fall. Watch this. The wind couldn't even shake the house. That thing caught me today. And it couldn't even shake the house. So the wind came, now the wind comes, the building does this, and the Bible says it couldn't even shake the house.
Oh, God, make me unshakable, Jesus. Hallelujah.
I'm glad you caught that word. That thing caught me today. I said, oh, wait a minute. And this is why, listen, God, this is going to make sense. This is why God has to dig deep. Some things have been cut off and cut down, but not uprooted. We're in an uprooting season.
Yes, thank you, Lord. Hallelujah.
Come on, y'all, be encouraged. I know y'all got something going on in you. You got something going on with you. And I ain't talking about, I'm talking about with you. You know you. Me.
Hallelujah.
I ain't pointing no fingers. Me. So we're in a season. God's been cutting stuff down and cutting stuff down. And it gets discouraging when you thought stuff was gone and there's still a root.
Wow.
You know what? No, you ain't the only one. Because maybe the things that have been coming to my mind, Jesus. As a matter of fact, I've been having little matches with myself about myself. Straight up. Can I tell you what's shutting down God's house? Boy, I can't even go into that with y'all right now. It's like, ooh, wait a minute, dude, you can't. Ooh. And you gotta be careful, because we keep having match like that with ourselves. We gonna have a match with somebody else. Stick up, huh? Ooh, Jesus. I understand, but it's all part of that process where we're not happy with the way we are. We're not selling with where we are. And we're going to fight with us to get ourselves in line with God.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
If anybody going to beat me up, it's going to be me first.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
Are y'all catching this?
Yes.
And so we're in that season, so be encouraged. Be encouraged. All right? Be encouraged. Be encouraged. Just keep fighting. And then you get around people who won't fight. Do not be hanging out with folk that ain't gonna fight. Straight up. Listen to me. I didn't say try to find perfect people. I said find folk that's gonna fight. We're being perfected through the fight. Thank you. I'm so glad you called that. That's enough. Especially if you just got finished beating up yourself a little while ago. Are you understanding me? We're being perfected in the fight. Are you understanding me? So fight. Fight the good fight of faith. And don't give up on it. Don't quit. And hang on with folk that's going to push and that's going to fight. Hang on with folk that's going to have you believe in ridiculous stuff. Are you for real? Yeah, that's just nutty. Okay, whatever. If you hang with me, we're nuts. But if you're not, go on about your business. Go over there with the sane people. Sane and miserable. Go over there with them. People over here, we all cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You understand what I'm telling you? I'm talking about in a good way. We just got some of us that won't let us quit, even with ourselves. You know you wear you out more than anybody else do. God, tell me to tell the truth. Am I in somebody's business tonight? I understand what I'm telling you. You and I, everybody's business tonight. I'm in my own business. Shoot, we wear ourselves out more than anybody else do. God pushed back. I was like, I want them to have. They asking me for mercy. I need them to have mercy on themselves. I ain't even angry like that. Enough is enough. Don't get twisted. At the same time, I'm a merciful and compassionate God. Good Lord. I understand what we're saying. And so we're gonna look at Abraham and look at his life and learn these lessons. And learn these lessons. And learn these lessons. Thank you, Lord. All right, Hebrews chapter 11. Now, why did Abraham trust, and I can't go back to the 12 lesson. Y'all getting this lesson so far. Why did Abraham trust God the way he did? It was something that he believed of God that wouldn't let him let God go, despite what God was telling him to do. That means I have learned enough of God that I have a glimpse of a God I have never seen work like this. Y'all missed that. Oh, God. Okay. I'm trying to say this in layman's terms. Abraham receives a promise. God gives him a promise and refines the promise over a 25-year period. Part of our problem is we don't want to wait. I'm not saying it tonight. We want things quick, hurry, and in a hurry. And some of the things God's going to do is not going to be done overnight. But then we miss the things that he will do overnight that will help us along this long journey.
Oh, Jesus. Thank the Lord.
Come on, y'all all right? So you're so caught up in trying to get here. And you want this to be overnight. But there's something he's doing right now overnight to encourage you to last through the nights.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
He said, this ain't the only night you're going to have. But I'm going to do this tonight. So tomorrow night you will make... Oh, God. And it helps you to stay overnight till the morning.
Thank you, Jesus.
Okay, maybe that was just for me. Give me a moment. Hallelujah! Okay, I'm back. Amen, Lord. You know, let me say this. One of the biggest fears of slowing down is afraid of what I'm going to see. And look what the word says. Let not your heart be troubled. Neither be ye afraid. Believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house, there are many mansions. I go to prepare a place for you that where I am, you may be also. Now pay attention, he's talking about our hope. You don't have to be afraid because of the hope that we have in us. And it's an eternal hope. So I'm not just waiting for it to be manifested down there. The fullness of it is down there. But there's hope to be being manifested now. So now let me take it from eternal into the moment. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy. No. Right, walk it out. Walk it out. I understand. Y'all gotta do something. Wake up and do something. I understand. Make them stand up, do some jumping jacks or something. Huh? You said no jump jacks, you're too far past. We're not jumping up and down right now. Oh, y'all understand what I'm saying? So now Abraham has his promise, and he's looking for 25 years. He's holding to this thing. Finally, it comes. It comes at a time when it looks impossible to be done. He's dead in his body. Sarah's dead, and they don't even have pleasure no more. They done stopped. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. They done stopped. They stop. And so now they come to this place. They come to this place. And God is telling them by next year this time, she gonna give you a son. Yeah. Sarah overhears this and laughs. Like, are you for real? Me? We don't even do that no more. Abraham laughed the chapter before. Yeah. It's like, really, God? Some of the things that God's going to do for you is going to make you laugh. Y'all miss this. Oh, God, I feel this thing. It defies logic. It almost seems like this is really impossible. You know what? I believe that, God. I really believe that, Lord. And I know that the Spirit is talking. And so I'm going to go home tonight and sit back and say, okay, God, which that's going to make me laugh. I'm waiting for that too, Lord. Hold up. I'm your tool instrument right now, but I need some insight. How are you about to show out? Ooh, Jesus. Look, God, you about to cut up. Oh, hold on. Hallelujah, Jesus. Now be ready when you. That's what I'm saying. Make me laugh. Make me laugh. I don't know about where I'm at right now. I need a deep laugh. I don't need a superficial laugh. I don't need a corny laugh. I don't need a. I need something to come way down from the inside that shakes me while I'm laughing. So my stomach tightens up and it hurts. I need something to make me catch my breath. That's it. Jeremiah said that's a good one. And Rock said, now you're laughing. I need a good now you're laughing. That's what I need. No oxygen. You're trying to but that's the reason to be encouraged. Anything that happens in this realm starts in the spirit realm first. And it always depends on where you tap into, determines what's going to flow out. So you cannot, let me use me, I cannot get caught up in where I am right now. Amen. I have to stay mindful despite me of what he's performing in the spirit realm. And stay in that, so if that flows through me, it touches me on its way through me. Y'all listening? God. And I need that power to flow through me. But first of all, I need to come through me because it has to come in me first. Y'all listening? I don't want it to just rest upon me or truth from me. I need to come through me so it comes in me. And if it gets in me, it has to clean me up and deliver me first. It has to set me in order first. It has to bless me first. And what comes out of me is overflow. So I need that thing, oh, I feel God. I need that thing to come through me. Y'all understand what I'm telling you? And so Abraham now, God tells him after Isaac is old enough to understand sacrifice. He says, I need you to get to the Mount Moriah. I need you to sacrifice your only son. And we learned the typology of that one last week. I can't stop there. He said, I need you to sacrifice your only son. And Abraham got up without reservation. Lord Jesus. You know when we know we trust in God. And we go without reservations. Oh, I'm going to get into why he was there in a minute, but I'm setting it up. He got up without reservation. He took his only son. You got to understand, he took that which meant so much to him that he waited for so long. God's got to know that what you're waiting for will never take his place when you get it. And so sometimes once you get it, hell breaks out and you makes you think this was the wrong thing. And instead of running from God, you want to ditch the gift. Bro is preaching. Are you understanding? Are y'all catching what?
Yes, we are.
Are y'all asleep?
No.
I understand what I'm telling you. And the point is, I was looking out for you when you wasn't looking out for me. But because I know the beginning from the end, I knew what you was going to need when you got what you was. When you didn't know what you was needing, you were looking for one thing, but because I'm gracious, I gave you something else. And now I want to know, is that thing going to take the place of me? And that's when our mindsets are challenged. And our thought processes are challenged. And what we have in our thought process and mind don't line up with what we're seeing. Now can you see God? Oh God, come on y'all. Are you understanding me? God says, see me. I see it. Mount Moriah means it's the place chosen by God. It's the place where God sees to it.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, maybe is it me, Kyra? It is me? You being funny with me? No. Hear me, sir. Y'all got pictures of detail.
Oh, that's what you're going to do.
Oh, duh. Look, he said, listen, it's the place where God will see to it. I'm glad you are, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm disconnected. He says, get to the place. All right, we're done. Shh. He says, get to the place of Mount Moriah. He says, I want you to sacrifice your son. Your only son. Isaac sees the wood, sees the fire. Isaac, too, goes without reservation. Which confirms that where you're going, you have to develop to the place you have no reservation about God. Now here, I'm giving y'all insight to your life while we're talking about his. Right now, he's dealing with your reservations. This is good teaching. Right now, he's trying to crush your reservations. He's trying to get you to be able to see him clearly and only him. He's perfecting you. That's why I told you, you gotta get with, I didn't say find perfect people. Let me say it this way, find people being perfected. That are growing up. Now, hear me, dear hearts. You gotta be okay. That you are misconstrued. False flaws for no forward progression. That's real heavy, and that's where sins get in trouble. Let's do too much. You do. Can I tell you something? None of us would be in this room if it was solely based on our flaws, including the preacher. Are y'all hearing this? I know it's not my phone, is it? It's your iPad, so just show the right top of the top. Flaws, you see that? doesn't mean there's no forward progress. That was a perfect example. Doesn't mean that there is no development going on. He just didn't turn off the sun. That's just the flaws. But God is working. He's working. All right, my point is this. He said, okay. God is just dealing with it. Now, I'm not making excuses for our flaws. I'm not making excuses. When they are brought to the surface, when they're brought out, you and I got to deal with them. Do you understand? And you first got to deal with it from an honest perspective that you recognize it is me. And this is true about me. Do you understand that? Take what's true and put the rest. Do you understand? But do not ignore, by no means, what's true. And sometimes, somebody put on Facebook today, it was Jatasha. She said, the truth will set you free, but it'll piss you off first. That's a good, I said, ooh. So it'll come, and it will set you free. But before it sets you free, that's real good. It'll piss you off first. It'll make you mad. Now, it will determine your rejection or acceptance. That's the difference. That will determine whether you be free or not. You understand what I'm saying? If I accept the truth, I can be set free. It hurt. It stung. But if I accept it, I can have freedom. If I reject it, not only do I stay bound, it gets worse. I ain't planning to teach that one right there. Are you understanding? But anyway, huh? We go back now and we look at this 25-year gap. And they're about to sacrifice at Mount Rai, the place where God will see it. Abraham says something in 5, 8, and 14. Verse 5, 8, and 14 of the 22nd chapter. Verse 5, 8, and 14. And all those carry numeric value in the Jewish system. I'm not going into all that right now either. But those were his scriptures or verses of self-talk. And his self-talk reflected his faith in God. Yours and my talk will reflect wherever our faith is. Amen. Amen. By your words, you will have what you say. Amen. That's why we got to stop these matches with ourselves. And I didn't understand what I was talking about earlier. Because after a while, okay, it's admit, you know, this is, you can go through all your expressions, but you can't keep saying that. Exactly. After a while, that's what you'll keep getting. And if you listen to the Spirit, He'll correct you. No, you're my son. Acting up, but you're my son. Are y'all getting this? And you know what? And since you, okay, 1, 2, and 3 won't stop helping me. But I'm going to take what you said just now anyway. So, but here's the point. You do have to accept what He's saying. Because if you don't embrace what He's saying, you won't have what He said. And you'll become what you're saying.
Yes, you will.
You're going to have a saying. That's going to be you. You just got to choose what saying it's going to be. And you will fall into self-condemnation and depression.
Yes, you will.
And then after that, that's when suicidal thoughts come. The pick up and run stuff comes. If he can get you thinking to run, you're on your way. You can't even plow in your mind running. I got any real folk in the house of God. I could pack up and go on up out of here. You can't even plot that in your mind. You know what? You know what the truth of the matter is? You can't run from you. And the same God is going to meet you behind where you're running, the same God is right here, right now. Are you following what I'm telling you? Sometimes we got to buckle down, but just, you know what, God? Whatever I have to face, give me grace to endure it. but I refuse to run. God, I would love for this to happen. I would love it to be this way. I would love for you to do this. I would love for you to do that. And I'm admitting, God, I'm scared to death, and I feel like running. Don't play with God. Don't try to be deep with God, and you're not deep. Don't try to go on this dissertation with God because you learned some stuff you've been watching on YouTube. Learn what you learned on YouTube, but know where you at. Do you understand what I'm telling you? And have a, God, I'm scared to death, and I do feel like running. I'm plotting to run. I need your help to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord revealed. He ain't just talking to you, Doc. He's talking to a couple of them. Yeah. You hear what I'm saying? No. Anyway. I'm talking something. I'm trying to flow with this thing. Yeah. The only way you're going to stand still is you believe what Abraham believed. I told y'all we're going to unfold this thing tonight. You got to believe as Abraham believed. Let there be light. So Abraham get to model his father's example. And now Abraham, according to Galatians, is the father of our faith. And so now we're going to model his example, which means I got to get my faith to a place. I can believe that God can move in a way that I ain't never seen God move before. I ain't even talk like that. And I can't talk like that if I don't have those words in me.
Yes, God. Thank you, Jesus.
I'm not talking about becoming a parrot and just merely mimicking. I'm talking about owning it. In Hebrews chapter 4 and 2, and it talks about them not mixing with faith. One translation talks about them not assimilating. And that means they did not assimilate. They did not get a thorough understanding. And then the other word, the other word we use is assimilate. But the other word meant, all right, let me go back. I said before, faith defies logic. The understanding cannot be of logic. It has to be of faith. And if you can't get that understanding, no wonder you can't make it your own. And therefore, if you don't own it, which faith, conviction, is your title deed, you can't have it because you don't own it. Come on, y'all. This is not hard, is it? No. That was from there saying this is tough, Pastor. And we're trying to work our way through this, so just stick with us. I don't understand what I'm telling you. Revelation's coming to me. I don't own it. So watch this. Tell you, that means you can't be free, not because the cross didn't do it, but because you don't own it. You can't be well because you don't own it. You'll be an emotional mess to the day you die because you don't own emotional health. You don't understand by his stripes. The chastisement of our peace. Oh my God.
Yes, Lord, we hear you, Jesus. Yes, God.
The peace of God surpasses all men's understanding, so keep your heart and your mind. This is good teaching. It's better than good. It is. I don't even know. Yeah, you're right. He ain't describe a word. Y'all understand it? So here, this word. Let me show y'all this in the Bible. Y'all have to give me a couple of minutes. This word, the Bible talks about salvation being a gift. Yes? Yes. Salvation comes by faith. Yes? Yes. Faith comes by hearing by what? The word of God. So the word of God is a what? Gift. I'm going to help you chase these mountains. It's a gift. And so God gave us his word. It's a gift. I have to receive the word and own the word to expect the fruit of the gift of the word. If I don't shut up being frustrated and mad about the condition of your life, you won't take your gift. Your life will be unlocked with the gift. The gift is also a key. And the key unlocks locked doors that are supposed to be open for you. But if you don't own it, it ain't yours. And Satan fights for territory that his blood covered for you. You don't own it. So what you crying for? You got, mama, you get it. You gotta own it. I gotta own this thing. You got. That's why the Bible says, oh God, this word is popping. This is why the Bible says in Matthew, it says, and the kingdom of heaven suffers violent, and the violent take it by force. I'm not asking nobody permission. God gave this to me. This is mine. And I'm gonna hold to what's mine. And nobody gonna take from me what's mine. I won't die till I get all that I own. As a matter of fact, that's only for this side. That's only for this side. I got to die to get the rest of my inheritance. I don't plan to miss nothing. Come on, y'all guys, confirm. Y'all hear the word. You gotta hear the word. And when you're in the word, watch this. Now, I'm gonna use that as an example since y'all this row and that row just love to talk while I'm talking. Watch this. But what God will do is, this is a good example. When you are in the word and you get to the house of God, it should be confirmation of what God. That's how you know you're in tune. I ain't been in y'all time sessions. I ain't been in y'all and don't want to be. And I ain't been in your business and don't want to be. So if they come to me, I don't want to hear. But then God knows how to encourage you and say you're not off track. Just keep pressing. Keep pushing. When I say it's true. What you and I got to decide is that we're going to own it. I'm going to own it. And this owning comes through conviction. It's not a self-help group. That's not what this is. You want a self-help group, then you need to go find one of them self-help talkers and go pay all that money. And I ain't pay your tithes, but go pay all that money. Body shot. Go ahead, go pay all that money. You can't give an offering, a decent offering.
Yes, baby.
So you sow into it, believe it's working, and you feel good about it until it doesn't work. And you keep pushing to work it. And you get, this is how weird we are. And you get around people talking that talk and encourage and lift you up, and so it keeps you going and something doesn't work. But you won't come to church.
Okay.
That's retarded. I'm not being nice, that's retarded. You won't hang around like-minded people who really are pushing because you're too busy being judgmental about where you think they are and refuse to look at where you really are. Hey, hold up, Joker. Hold up. Let me make this plain. Never mind. I'm going to be nice. No, I was about to go somewhere. Oh, Jesus. No. He said, boy, no, that was mean. That was going to be a body shot in the world. Yeah, you got to know when to stop. You got to know when to hold to. You got to count your money. No, not tonight. I'll say that for Sunday. Yeah, some more people. I get the rest of them. Jeremy, I get the rest of them. So here's the point. Watch this. Watch this. Yeah. Look, I had all right there. Y'all say, where's he going to go with this? I got to wait. Anyway. tonight. Y'all gonna leave out tonight. Let's do it, y'all. No, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna give it to you. But you gotta get this lesson. You gotta understand this. Abraham owned the promise of God. I'll show y'all this. The word will give you a glimpse of God you have not seen of God in your own living. There had been the story of a rapture, but never a resurrection. Just read your Bible. I'm talking about it on Sunday. Enoch was the first rapture. But there had been no resurrection. And so when you get hold of the word will show you things that you have not seen. So now you got to bring it relevant to your life. There's some challenges that you're facing that people in your family have not overcome. This show is everybody's business. That's the Holy Ghost. Watch this. Ooh, God. And so therefore, God will show you a picture of you overcoming, and you ain't seen nobody overcome. If your faith ain't relevant and that faith worth having, your mama failed, your grandmama failed, your great-grandmama failed, your aunt, your uncle, all them nuts. Your daddy crazy. And you ain't ever seen this type of man that God's telling you you are. But because you hold to his word, he's giving you this image that you cannot refuse. Y'all not catching this. Are you understand what I'm telling you? This is why this is living. This word. In John chapter 6, it says the word is life and it is spirit. Because around verse 63, chapter 6. And so it's telling you that when you take this word in, it is giving you the mind and the heart of God to show you the things of God in the dimension in which you live to expand your borders. Amen. I'm glad you get this, girl. That's joy. I'm glad you... come on, you understand me? That's why it's so foolish not to spend time in the Word. My hope is built on nothing less than Jesus. I dare not trust the sweetest thing, but wholly lean. That's His Word. Y'all getting this lesson? That's His word. So now, when Abraham got hold of the promise and the word and began to trust God and move God, his thinking was elevated. You ain't going no higher in your thoughts.
Oh, that was good.
Somebody got stinking thinking, it'll dwell amongst mess. Change your thinking, it'll smell better at higher levels. It smells like stuff. Because that's where your thinking is, in the stuff. I'm saying, pray my strength in the Lord. Are you understanding me? But if I elevate my thinking, you see things that cannot be seen in this realm. That means you live a life never restricted by what's going on in this realm, but in the freedom of that realm while you're living in a restricted place. It's now you define to the place you live in, you ain't going to hold me. I'm not succumbing to this. I will not bow to this. I only bow to one, and that's the Most High God, and you ain't God. That's so Abraham. All y'all gonna be in my office. Watch the past. I'm really trying to behave right now. That's them. Are y'all following what I'm telling you? Where my glasses? Y'all took my glasses from me? Where the heck's my glasses? What, never took them out? Ooh, that's real bad. Something you ain't never seen. Shout out. Knuckleheads. All right, here. Check this out. Ooh, that is so bad. Ooh, Jesus. Ooh, Jesus. No wonder I couldn't see this stuff. Oh, Jesus. Hush up, Jeremiah. Jeremiah, you got to go home with me. Here, now look at this word. So now, what did the word, the promise of chapter 12, chapter 15, chapter 17, chapter 21, and chapter 22, what did it give? What did it give Abraham? A glimpse of. He saw the future of the power of the resurrected Christ. Oh, Jesus. No, yeah, he saw our salvation and could not be a part of it because it was out of his time. But God gave him a glimpse of his eternal future. In time. Oh my God, this is so good. Y'all remember, there's times when I've taught, and I've told you that God operates in patterns, right? And that you got to understand that about God. And if you understand the patterns of God, you can understand the ways of God. And so throughout Scripture, He has not changed operating in patterns. You just got to know the pattern of the Word. And what God always does is He'll give you a glimpse in the moment of the future. So you get a taste of your future right now. Y'all missing it. Come on. But the point is, can you see it, or are you seeing your now too much? The only way Lady Marvin, all that we're going through right now, can sit up here with all that joy and all that stuff, is that she's in her now with a taste of her future. And so she refuses to allow her now to dictate to her. They can't coincide with each other. Either you're going to let go of your past or you're not. Either you're going to embrace God in the moment or you're going to embrace the moment. But you're not going to hold both of them. Y'all remember the example of holding me? I was holding Jeremiah versus clinging to him? Jeremiah said, "You're not do that again." You're too close, Pops. I love you. You chill the love right now. Are y'all understand what I'm telling you? You can't hold both of them. Are y'all getting this? Now watch this word. Watch this word. Watch this word. Watch this word. I'm not even going to tell y'all the verse on purpose. By faith, Abraham, when he was tried. Shut up, Jeremiah. It is verse 17. Oh my God. Don't try to read ahead. Oh, you're taking notes. All right. Look. All right. Here's my all y'all Bible. Y'all just read if y'all want to. Y'all play too much. By faith, Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac. And he that had received the promise offered up his only begotten son. Watch this. Of whom it was said that in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Accounting. Romans chapter 6 talks about reckoning. Reckoning is when you look at all your stuff, you got to reconcile it and bring it all into one accord. And so what he did was, he got his thought process in line with the mind of God. And so the mind of God had not done what he had in his mind to do yet, but because he was in his mind, he saw it already. Okay, 4 y'all call that. Understand me? When you have the mind of God, you see what you don't see, and you hold on to what you're seeing despite what you see. Okay, let me break it back down to you again. God will give you a promise in the midst, a word to hold on to carry you through. That's a good thing. A picture. He will. He'll give it to you. He'll give it. And it's an impression for you to hold on to let you know that you're not. It is your life jacket before you start drowning. Before you start drowning, he gives it to you. So that you don't drown and you hang on because your due date is on the way. What do you want to point out there, sir? which shows our endearment and who we are and belonging to God. Y'all understand? Which goes to this point. You got to know who you are in God. And you got to be convinced of that. Ooh, are you understand me? That opens you up to receive the mind of God. Yes, sir.
And so when he says begotten, it is begotten from the dead in the other two passages where it's used. So Jesus begotten.
Right. So he's prophesying.
He's begotten. He's the firstborn. He's the firstborn begotten and, from the dead.
Mm-hmm.
So it talks about our resurrection, his resurrection, and Isaac's resurrection.
Right. So don't jump ahead. Shh, quiet. Thank you. All right. Back to the verse before I was interrupted here. Here we go. Watch this. According that God was able. Look what this was saying. This is what he's saying here. This is what Brother Cox is bringing out right here. Pay attention. And here we go. That God was able to raise him up even from the dead, from whence he also received him in a figure. So what held Abraham all this time was that Abraham got a glimpse of the power of the resurrection before he saw resurrection, because he got a glimpse of the power of God, because he held on to the power of God, his word. There is power in the word. And so he took his son knowing that if I kill him, he's getting up. When you believe God, you will dare to do ridiculous stuff. Believe that no matter what this looks like, I know God will turn this thing around. That's why I look crazy. And that's why I keep praising. That's why I keep pressing. Ain't gonna get worse on me. But I believe God. And I refuse to let God's word go. You want to know what held Abraham? Abraham believed that you kill my boy, he's going to get him back up. I ain't never seen no resurrection. But I believe God can do it.
Yes, Lord.
Are y'all understanding?
Oh, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Oh, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
Yeah. You got to see that. That's powerful. That's why everything we have needs. That's bad, ain't that?
Yes, Lord.
Wait, hold up. This was so many centuries before there was a resurrection.
Yes, Lord.
As a matter of fact, I don't think we see anybody dead come to life until we saw the Shulamite woman's son.
Yes, Lord.
There wasn't nobody else. So even after all this time, there still was nothing to back up what he believed, but the fact that God was able.
Oh, yes, God. Yes, God.
You gotta get to a place where ain't nothing I can put my hands on can back up. I ain't never, but that God is able.
But that God is able. Yes, Lord.
That's why I don't look to the left or the right. You ain't never seen this way before. You gotta trust me.
Yes, Lord. Yes, God.
Yes,
Stay here all day long.
Yes.
You ain't seen this.
Believe God. Hallelujah.
You ain't seen this. You ain't seen this. So you got to trust me to get to a place you ain't never seen. He said, Abraham, come and I'm going to show you where you're going to go. But you ain't seen it.
Yes, Lord. Believe God. Hallelujah, Jesus.
The possibility you think you can see is only a drop in the bucket to the reality of the possibility he sees.
Thank you, Jesus.
Now unto him, able to do exceedingly
Thank you, Jesus.
above all that you could ask or think. I feel a breakout. Because God promised me just before I got out here, and have the war, and he said it's going to come tremendous breakthrough.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
And he told me a time when I'm battling. He said there's going to come tremendous breakthrough.
Thank you, Jesus.
And I sensed that thing.
Thank you, Jesus.
Tremendous breakthrough.
Thank you, Jesus.
I ain't seen it. I ain't seen nothing like this.
Thank you, Jesus.
Hell that I can see impossibility is still a smidgen of the reality of what he's going to do. God, I want to cry and scream at the same time. Come on, y'all. I don't know about you, but I really like right now in this point, I need to bathe in this. I need to wrap myself up in this and hide in it. This is a good time to steal away. I just helped some of y'all out. This is a good time to lay off some stuff, lay off some folk, get real quiet, and get to a lonely place with God. I'm not talking about a good attitude, a chip on your shoulder. I'm talking about wrapping up in Him and hiding with Him. If you're truly hiding with Him, when you come out, you won't be a caterpillar, you'll be a butterfly. If you come out, matter of fact, you can't even come out, caterpillar. If you don't come out, you die.
What you said, Lord. Ooh, Jesus.
You.
Thank you, Jesus.
Y'all gotta catch up. You gotta come out.
Thank you, Jesus.
You're gonna die.
Thank you, Jesus.
So if I'm gonna wrap up and I gotta hide, I'm hiding in this pavilion. She can present this tabernacle. That's where I'm gonna hide. Matter of fact, He gonna hide me. Some of y'all are hitting right now, just don't realize it. And if you wouldn't, it'd be real ugly right now. Did not understand that. Want to take the mercy of God? I can't go no more. This ain't it. It really isn't. There is some serious meat here. Oh, I'm a villain. I'm not, but y'all, that was just the tip of the iceberg. They're mad. No, but hear what I'm telling you. It is. And so be encouraged and stay in that posture. I got it. I got it. When you want it so bad, you get it.
That's right.
That's it. You want, who said that? That's it. Yeah, both of y'all got to help the preacher itis tonight, don't y'all? What was y'all drinking for y'all guy here? Lord. What is it? So ask that question. Oh, look. You can't stop. This, you want, this. Fire don't catch on to the back. Oh God, this is good stuff, boy. Lives are changing. All right, look now. There's a seed in you. And when the seed is, it is at the core. And so, not only, this is God. Gosh, watch this revelation. Woo! Watch this. It's in you. Watch this. In the 6th chapter of Genesis, I'm going to swing it. Ooh, Babe Ruth is up. It's the bottom of the ninth. Y'all got careful. This is bad. Remember, the seed is in you. When you believed, and you truly believed, the seed is there. It does not move. So understand this. You got pressure on the outside and pressure coming up on the inside to push a break out. Wait a minute. Let me give you a revelation from the text. In chapter 6 of Genesis, we often talk about the flood of the rains falling, but you forgot that there were springs in the earth that broke forth. It was not the water on the top that caused the flood, but it was the springs on the bottom. It's the seed. It's the seed. It's the seed. It's the seed. The springs broke forth in the earth and rain. That was resurrection. And look where the is bad, ain't it? I used to be a three-dimensional teacher. So we learn different. Ooh. You can't help but it. You can't help it. The seed is there. And whoever the seed is in, guess what? You can't stay where you are. And all you got to do is stay connected. That I got to continue to believe and obey. And I got to get it. I have to. There's no, he would be a liar. And how can I trust a liar? Oh, God, come on, y'all get this revelation? It was the springs in the earth that broke forth too. That means there's stuff in the seed in you. That just the timing of God going to be released in you. And it's got to come out of you. God told Noah he couldn't even shut the door. God said, I'm going to shut it. Oh my God, I can't stop. You can't even shut the door. I'm going to shut it. All I need is be in place. I'm going to be your rear guard. I'm going to be your protection. Goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will do well in the house of the Lord, the ark of God, forever. And can't nothing shake me out of the ark because he shut the door. He shut the door. I can't even get out. When I run, something on the inside. Then when he shut the door, it already started raining. But I was covered. Why are you upset about a storm you covered from? You need to see what a storm you covered? I got one of my daughters, one of them is afraid to death of lightning and thunder. Go. Not I said one. I got not just my shush mouth. I got a natural daughter and I got spiritual daughters. One. I just said one of them. Y'all have to. Y'all play so much. No, that will take care. Shut up. All right, anyway. My point is this. They're afraid to death of the lightning and thunder. They can be in the house and afraid. What I'm telling you is, there's no sense in you being afraid when you're covered. And some of us are afraid and we're covered. It ain't coming in to get you because he shut the door. You're in the spirit. Now you're caught in the natural. You're in the spirit. So some of y'all say the boogeyman. There's something in my closet. Y'all hear what I'm telling you? Hear me in the spirit. Are y'all hear what I'm telling you? He shut the door. So there's no need for me to be afraid of the storm. He built a place for me to be protected from the storm. I got to go through, but I'm protected. That's the point. I got to go through, but I'm covered. He has me covered. And then when I land, I'm going to land on the Mount of Ararat. And the waters got to subside my landing. Oh, God. All right, I'm going to let y'all go home. Y'all go. Oh, yes. Good Lord. Tough crap. Y'all understand what I'm telling you? And y'all remember the last time we went to Mount Ararat, That meaning set us off. What does that mean? Somebody go to chapter 6 of Genesis real quick. That'll be the last thing we do. It's probably down near the end where the boat landed on Mount Ararat. And you have the blue letter Bible. That's how we're going to end. I want you to go and find that meaning of that word when we get out of here. You find some? What verse is it? Yeah. You got it? Oh, maybe I should have it. Come on, y'all. What is what was your chapter 7? After 40 days, the boat landed. We gotta stay
Verse
in there.
17.
Of what chapter?
7.
All right, find chapter 7:17. That's 7:17. Go to the blue letter Bible.
Okay.
And then what does Ararat mean? Okay, somebody. All right. That's right, my fault. Chapter 8, which means new beginning, which is the perfect place for it to be. Now find what that word means. Verse 4. What's it? That sounds about right. That's what it meant. The curse reversed. That's what it meant. Y'all not catching that. That was the work of the cross. If you don't own it. Okay, that was good for me. The rest of y'all. I'm not cursed. I'm blessed. The curse has been reversed. When the storm is over, it takes care of everything cursed. Only thing left is blessing of new beginning. Oh, God. So it's another cycle of greatness about to take place. And everything that God points to, the blessings have got to be swept away. All things are passed away, all things become new.
Thank you, God.
Thank God we found it, huh? And then, can I give y'all this last little nugget? It's number 8 in verse 4, number 4. So this is something God's going to do in the earth realm. So it steps out of eternity into time, into the earth, to give you and I a new beginning. So I'm not waiting to die for this. It's been ordered for my now.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
I'm done.
Jesus.
Well, that's enough for me.
All things become new.
Who you? Shut down time. Oh, y'all understand what I'm telling you? Oh, I believe God has spoken to us tonight. He said, phone you shut. Old folks shut. No, you forget. Got some sink in there too. All right, watch this. Here we go. I believe God is encouraging us. He has spoken well beyond our earthly comprehension, beyond our logic, to challenge our thinking, to elevate our thinking. You can't go no higher than your thinking. You got to be willing to have your thinking challenged. And if you can't have your thinking challenged, that's why Lady Marvin said this earlier about knowing too much and knowing it all. You got to be mature enough to shut up. You do. You got to be mature enough to shut up. Be quiet. Stop trying to think and talk beyond the one that God's sharing his thoughts through. Shut that mess down. Shut it down. If that's the case, don't waste the time of the person he's talking through. Go home and talk to yourself. Stay with that committee between your 2 ears. Do you understand that? We cannot get to the place. Never mind, I'm done. Again, I did it again. I know. I'm done. Finish. All right, let's stand up. Let's go. Stand up. I need God. I need God. You really need. I need him twice then. Twice really. Yeah, I know that's how bad it is. I need God. I need God. I need God. I need God. And I need him in a place. And we all need him in a place. And if it should flood, I know I'm safe.
Yes, God. Yes, Lord. I hear that, God. Yes, God. I need you, Lord.
That's a lot for my heart to handle. But the truth of the matter is, I need God. And I need to be in that place. Because if I'm not in that place, I might be in the drowning place. And I really don't want to die yet. Not because of me. No, I need God. I need God. God knows how to pull at his. He knows how to pull at his. Yeah, he knows how to pull at his. So we bless God for just his demonstration tonight. Particularly on tonight. Particularly on tonight. Thank you, Lord, for your demonstration. Your mind, your power, your authority, your clarity, your understanding. It supersedes our understanding. We could never fathom or understand this stuff. We could never grasp this. This is too high for us. This is too lofty for us. We cannot attain unto it. You did not make it where it was comprehensible. We could never receive it. So God, we thank you. Just give us the grace to hold on to it. That's what we ask for tonight. Just give us the grace to hold on to it. And not to let it go. Oh God, give us reminders. He told the disciples that the Holy Spirit will bring back to their remembrance whatsoever things he had taught them. God, we thank you for the promise of your word. It's still alive for us today. Whatever you taught us tonight, we thank you for the Paracletos, the Holy Spirit, the one to come alongside to aid us, to tutor and to teach us. Help us to remember what you said. Man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of your mouth. We're not going to make it. We're not going to make it without your word. Without your word. Give us the grace to remember it. Even give us the grace of deeper understanding. In our sleep, Holy Spirit, minister to our spirit. Minister the word to our spirit, in our spirit. And when we awaken, we have an understanding we did not go to bed with. We have a press for a new day that we did not have before we went to sleep. An expectation that we live to see your wonder. We expect your wonder. God, thank you for being so good to us. Thank you for being so gracious unto us. And thank you for being so faithful unto us. May we ever endeavor, by the power of your Spirit, you working with us, the willing to do at your good pleasure, seek to be as faithful to you as you are to us. We give you glory and we give you honor. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ, we pray. Thank God. Thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Amen.
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 Amen. Come on, celebrate God. Keep fighting. Best is yet to come. All right. We do bless God for His word. Expectation of the There's a different type of electricity. And this is beyond us. And thank God, it's God's approving. And His power is beyond us. I pray we get it. For all of us that we get it. It's beyond us. It's greater than us. So we can rest. Amen. All right. Saturday morning, 6 a.m. prayer. I'm sure that we do all we can to be here 6 a.m. prayer. I'm particularly going to put a hold on everyone that works in this house. If you're not working, you don't have to work. Or your work schedule is not too late or early to be in the 6 a.m. prayer. So get to prayer. Be in prayer. You understand what I'm telling you? Please, let's try to be obedient to that. It's more imperative, sis. You understand? We should make every effort. Every effort. We have it every first and third Saturday. Make it 6 hours. I don't care if you get here and go to sleep. I know it's a sacrifice. I'm not trying to be funny or be goofy. Please hear my heart. Make it to prayer. If you fall asleep, fine, you're in prayer. You're in the presence of God. You will go out of sleeping into praying, when you're around praying folk. You understand that? So just make that effort, all right? Let's be in prayer. Let's start fighting differently. Call that. Let's start fighting differently. And let's get here to the house of God. Amen? Well, all hearts and minds are clear. And we're good. Everybody's okay? We all right? We gonna be all right? Okay. Lord, we bless you. We thank you. You did it again. So we give you glory. And we know you're not done. We know you're not done. Now unto him is able to keep us from falling and to present us faultless before the presence of his glory with exceeding joy. To the only wise God our Savior, be glory and majesty, domain and power, both now and forever. And the people of God say, Amen. Amen. Make sure y'all love on one another.
Every time.